Let's talk about sports stereotypes. Oh, it's obvious. It's mostly men who did that back in the day, and women they weren't really considered available to allowed to do that until later on in recent years. And according to some studies, if women were becoming more successful, even better than men, they would be looked down upon. And although that is unfair, and for certain sports, just men wouldn't men playing sports. It would not be called men's sports. It would just be sport is the name of the sport, and for women playing the sport, it would just be women's sport, and which is just completely inaccurate and just unequal. And I'm glad the what would you do show where they do segments in actual and public places. They covered this one too, where actors where a boy wants to continue dancing, which does allow people who do that to do ballet and other dance forms of dancing. That mom wants the boy to do more sports, like what North Americans call soccer. Now, let's get on with it, huh? Now, we start off with the girls. This actually happened to like a young woman who had just gone into post-secondary and in the USA, and she graduated from high school, went into either college or university. So she signed up for the American football team, and she was had to face a lot of criticism because she was a female, and all of the other players were male, and but she actually did pretty good, and yeah, even better than most of the male players, and she committed, and she like doing what she was doing, and yeah, I liked playing it, so yeah. And it's unfortunate that we don't see many women playing American football. And, of course, there's always NFL on the sports channel all the time in North America, where it's always and there's no NFL where there's a woman playing. And of course, basketball. Apparently there is a WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association. Not too sure if I've seen any, but of course there has been no news coverage about that because it's always about the men for that one. So, same with the sports channel. You always see the men playing. And of course, they called it WNBA because you know. It's just sexist that they had to do it, and of course, there needs more woman representation for that one too, so equally, because because I have seen girls playing ball, and they're pretty good at it, and there should be a separate uh, women's NBA team coverage in North America, and I do think that should be a thing, and that should be shown more often. And of course, and this used to be one tennis. Because there was like mostly that man doing it, and until finally equal rights happened, and women can, women also got coverage for playing tennis, and and how Venus and Serena Williams they were like looked down because they were black. So they were one of the one of the black tennis players, female tennis players, to make it up to the top, and look where they're at now. They're one of the best female players out there. And just look at all of the other tennis players out there who are like female, and I'm happy for a woman that they are getting female success, because they deserve this equal rights in sports too. Not the same group like men versus female, not battle of the sexes, but since men and women have different abilities, and because it would be unfair if a man versus a woman when competed, and now let's talk about the males. So it's I noticed ballet was on the list of one of the sports that usually women do. And it's sort of making it more of a feminine thing, and and I think some people have forgot. The Russian classical music composer Tchaikovsky. Swan Lake. So that ballet performance needs one man and one woman. So the male, so they're ballet dancing, and the man lifts the woman, and there's a part of that. Yeah, it's very famous. So men can do ballet, and even like one of the most famous male athletes out there, they do ballet too, and ballet, it's hard. You need to do balance. Uh, it's all about endurance too, and you can help them with their sports abilities, and yeah. Also, this is a gymnastics that is yeah, Olympic sports, and you see more women doing that, and also one of the one that where men are looked down on, and yeah. But if if you're like flexible and yeah, and try, you can make it. And this is not a sport, but sometimes a male could be playing a sport, but you probably heard something like you throw like a girl or something like that, and yeah. So say um, uh, a male is playing a sport, but not as good as like one of some of the other players that and it's unfortunate that this kind of judgment when the tables are completely turned, and this is a situation where physical abilities are sometimes judged upon, and of course it also goes for the other gender. If a woman is doing too well, sometimes I've heard this before. She's acting too manly, or something like that, and this also applies outside sports. Yeah, and yeah. And oh yeah, figure skating. Yeah, that's one for well, it's, 'cause usually it's the woman who would take over that industry, and I mean, there's some men out there like and there needs to be also more male representation of that too. Although it's like although there have been figure skating competitions where men and women do it together, and at the duo, and yeah, you've probably seen of that, and you know, in the Winter Olympics. So some things need to be more equal, and these assumptions need to, you know, finally die down. And just because they're like doing a certain sport does not make them like, oh, gay or lesbian, or you know. Because I've heard that excuse before, and no, they like doing a certain sport, let them.